I'm Eric Paul Johnson.
And I farted.
Well, I'm glad you're 1,600 miles away from me.
I'm Eric Winsenson,
Um,
and welcome to our mature Zoomcast.
yes, very, very mature.
Eyebrow humor.
A little too mature. I never really noticed that before. Really.
Yep. Highbrow humor or eyebrow humor.
Or God, I'm getting old. Oh, I never saw that
Oh, you didn't
before.
notice all the gray?
The gray I noticed. I just ignored it, but I didn't know that this thing here where things are starting to, I don't know, not there we go. There we go. Just do the podcast like this. Just make it still look young, although my neck it looks bloated now. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah. Podcast or Zoomcast anyway for some leftover comments for other songs. Before we get into that though, Patreon right down there. Turn on your closed captioning if you're watching on YouTube, which is the only place you can watch it. And down there's the link for the Patreon. We get 10 more Patreoners by June, and we'll keep doing the podcast. We'll go into Idle Race and Wilburys and Bevan solo stuff. Although, as far as I know, he only had one. Move, Violinsky, all that kind of stuff.
Subscribe, hit the bell.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel that you're watching this on, the Electric Light Orchestra podcast channel. Make sure you hit the bell up at the top to get notifications. And there's also PayPal. That's also right down there too, if you want to just give us money directly without Patreon taking their cut and all that stuff. So
yep. And we also have a special drop address. It is an alley off of about 35th Avenue and Bethany Home in Phoenix, Arizona, where you can just kind of drop a suitcase full of cash.
that'll be good. Yes, that would be very helpful. I would really like that. And that would certainly guarantee the podcast lasting.
Right. Won't guarantee the suitcase full of cash will be there very long, but
No.
please let us know if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you the specific alley, and then well, yep, and you'll experience the joy of hanging out in West Phoenix in an alley with a suitcase full of cash.
And as a reward, you get to hear us talk about Idle Race songs and
Yep. If you well.
that's if you survive that part of town. Yeah.
If you do survive, you deserve the podcast. Yes. It's a test of manhood or womanhood or personhood.
Yeah. We also have some good news. I tallied up the numbers from Podbean and YouTube and Podomatic and all that stuff, and our little podcast has cleared 200,000 listens. I was disappointed that it didn't make the noise.
I was just happy it wasn't racist.
Oh, right, the one's down here. It's hooray for us. Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good one to use the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So stay over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's what happens when you buy the cheap blowies that don't have the
Yeah, you usually want to pay a little bit more for the blow.
yeah, pay a little bit more, you get a better blow. So
yes,
that's the lesson of life there.
Or better batch.
That too. So I forgot to go through the YouTube comments last week for some last shows, but really didn't miss much. There's one here for Ain't It a Drag that Eric will read.
Okay. Don's Video 68 is asking who is singing Highway to Hell at 10:38. Is that Richard Cheese?
No, it was not Richard Cheese. It was the Heimatadamisch. I'm sure I'm completely mispronouncing that, but a better way to do it and easier for my mouth to figure out, go to YouTube, do a search for Highway to Hell Polka, and it should pop up there. The Heimatadamisch. And yeah, they did a pretty good job. It's pretty entertaining. And Corey Gomel wrote something back about last week's Zoomcast, where I sort of nagged him about, subscribe to Patreon, get the expanded episodes and all that. Told him, $8 a month. Surely someone who can afford a Battlestar-sized pickup truck that can power. What are you looking at? That can power your house during a blackout. My cat Jasper is in here and he just kind of stared at me. And surely you could afford $8 a month to get your fill of the expanded episodes that has all the stuff that you're missing out on, like the music cue that gave, that answered the question that was driving him nuts about you got to go through hell before you get to heaven. Because that was in the expanded episode and not the standard episode. He's distracting me. Don't do a Zoomcast when there are pets in the room. But Corey said, got an email from Ford. The electric truck might be ready in 2024. So 2 years is a long time to wait for a truck. But that probably opens up some money for you, so you can't afford the $8 a month for the expanded episodes. So there you go.
And then you'll be environmentally conscious, charging up that truck that no longer uses gasoline from that coal-powered power plant.
That's right.
Doing your part for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Is your cat sitting on some clothes and suddenly giving you a certain look saying, I'm about to release?
No, he's he moved on from the bed onto the bedroom door and he's kind of knocking at it as if to let him out. So now would be a good time for Eric to read the first comment about All My Life. That was last week's song. Well, I take care of Jasper.
Okay.
Come here.
So Vinny Corbett says, my favorite song on this episode was the background music during Mike Hudson's review. Highly recommend 1975 Music for Supermarkets on YouTube.
Come on.
Now it's going to be a moment because even though the cat wanted out, it's now staring at the doorway, deciding whether or not it actually wants out.
Yeah, now he's sitting on the floor looking out the door. Go. Do you want out or do you want in? All right, fine.
The cat will now walk out.
No, he's in.
And then it's in now?
Yeah, because I'm not standing there waiting for him to figure out his mind.
Because I was going to say the cat is about to walk out and then meow right outside the door.
Now he's kind of wandered further into the bedroom and he just looked up at the ceiling and yawned. All right. He can't be in the room anymore when I do these. Yeah, so Vinny's favorite song was that supermarket music. Yeah, there's a YouTube channel, or not a YouTube channel, but there's some videos on YouTube that have music that was used in supermarkets in the 70s. What? Was used in supermarkets in the 70s, and I yoinked that music from YouTube, and I've used it in quite a few things. There's all kinds of different supermarket songs from 70s, and yeah, it really takes you back to the early 70s. Don't give me any noise. I held that door open for you, and you just sat there and looked down the hallway. So you had your chance. You're just gonna have to wait until we finish with the Zoomcast. Okay? He's looking down like, fine. All right. Um,
I knew it.
all right. It's time to go out. Come on.
There's a reason I love cats.
Scram. Don't sit there. There, go. Knight is right, said. The lyrics are good, but sound is crap. It needs more character. If you put violins and cellos on it, it might sound good. Yeah, yeah, it's that 21st century Jeff Lynne sound. It needs to be less tinny.
Everything has to be at the same volume level, and
It's
it
that too.
all has to be compressed so it sounds good as an MP3.
Well, it doesn't sound good as an MP3 because that's how I got it.
Which is normal production attitude these days. How's this going to sound as a ringtone?
Oh, don't do that.
Hey, that's what ruined hip hop.
Oh, okay. I thought it was pre-ruined, but
No, it was basically a lot of 2000s hip hop was made to sound good as a ringtone.
see, that's just so stupid. It's kind of my beef with black and white TV shows from the 60s. It's obvious everything was moving in color. Why not just shoot the show in color? Because this black and white TV thing, that's going to be a temporary thing that's going to go away. Mixing songs for ringtones, for technology that's going to be outdated in a few years, unless you're someone like me who just goes for the cheap phone, because I just need people to call me and that's it. 10 years, 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
people who like music are not going to be listening to it through some crappy phone or through the speaker. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. I threw you around. I completely forgot about you. They're not going to be listening to music through the iPod. People who like music, they're going to want to hear it through sounding good through headphones or through the speakers. So I don't know, just mixing it for temporary technology and not thinking about the future. Just why? Why?
Well, there's not a lot of to mix on a lot of modern songs. That's what makes it disappointing is even a song like All My Life has a lot in there
Mm-hmm.
and just beep, 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 beep. And then somebody saying and then somebody just saying well mumbling, I should say, a couple F words
Mm.
to try and sound like they're from the street, from Scottsdale or something.
Yeah.
And
Look at me,
and
I'm
what is
swearing. Yeah. Look at me, I'm
yeah,
swearing.
look
I'm
me,
edgy. I'm
I'm
edgy.
edgy.
Yes. No, no, you're not.
Not
You're
going to
both.
say that word because I'm whiter than either of the Erics, but I'm edgy.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're
And
not. You're
yeah.
boring. Anybody can swear and be offensive. At least do
Mm-hmm.
it in a way that's creative and not just they said a naughty word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It's always great when you learn that word and write it the first time on a wall or school desk or something like that. Everybody's impressed.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
it's a way to get girls.
Oh, maybe that was my problem. I was never a big swearer until much later in life.
Yeah. No, that's a hint to all you 40-year-old virgins out there. Just walk in, drop an F-bomb, or write it on a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you meet the girl that you're going to take out, just walk into her home and write the F word in big, huge letters on the wall.
And that'll make the panties drop.
Right. Or is it the N word these days? It's the new for big, huge, forbidden one.
Well, we can talk about that some other time. You might want to get on to the next comment about all my life.
That's true. So this one is from Jonathan Massey,
Mhm.
and he says, "Yeah, the songs fall short for me. Been fortunate enough to see Jeff Lynne's E.L.O. twice, 2018 and 2019. All my life was not played at either show. When I was a boy was the only song played from Alone in the Universe."
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
E.L.O.'s pretty much a greatest hits tour, and that was the single from it. And that was the single from that album anyway, the one that anybody's gonna remember. So yeah, that would be the one to play.
You would think somebody would be happy about the music that they made. And I mean, yeah, you don't want to fill up the entire concert with your new album that when people do come to hear Mr. Blue Sky, but you you kind of want to say, "Hey, I did something new and I'm happy about it."
Yeah, I mean that's usually the thing with all the much older acts. People go to hear the hits, and the really, really deep fans, they'll be like, "Hey, why didn't he do Time After Time or In Old England Town?" It's like, well, because nobody knows them. You're trying to sell tickets to fill an arena, not just you know fill a club with the diehard fans.
But you'd expect at least two or three songs off the new album
He
mixed in
might have done,
with all the hits. So
yeah, I don't know. He might have done two or three from, um, but I mean, when I was a boy, oh, it was the only song. Okay, well, yeah, huh? I can think of a couple of other songs that he could have done on that Alone in the Universe tour from that album, but we're not going to get into it here. You just keep listening to future episodes. Mitch Barloga. I really like this song. Nothing spectacular, but the refrain makes this stand out. Also, I completely envision a video which starts out as a puzzle being poured out on a table and slowly comes together as the song progresses. Maybe I'll test my fledgling Adobe Premiere Pro skills on this one. Absolutely. Go ahead.
just get out Microsoft Paint. Not the new one with the 3D stuff, but the old one.
Wow. Yeah, that should look quaintly primitive. So, it might go over well. Yeah. Are we done here?
I think we're done here.
Okay. We're done. We're done here.